thoughts about Matthew chapter 6. Of course, Matthew chapter 5 and 6 are both messages from the Sermon on the Mount. And just something that I realized recently, that Jesus, well, I made this video on my channel called iCartoon2 one time, where it's called If and When. And it mentions the fact that God establishes things. Actually, I made a thoughts video, I think, here on Family Bible Time also, that mentioned the same thing. When God says when, that means it's going to happen. When he says shall, that means it's going to happen. But then every time he spoke of bad things, in Deuteronomy, he was saying, if a man shall do something bad, and he names the bad thing. But he didn't say when, because that would establish it. God's word establishes things. Now, Jesus, of course, is God. And when he says, thy kingdom come, as a suggestion, after this manner, therefore pray ye, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Jesus establishes the fact that his kingdom will come when he says that himself. He is God. This is a suggestion. We should pray it too, these type things, but Jesus establishes it here with his word. Thy will be done in earth. We can't get around it. God's will is being done. That doesn't mean that removes us from the need to pray that we know his will, or that we follow his will, because God still gives us, of course, our ability to make our own decisions, and that free will thing, you know. Then give us this day our daily bread. He's not saying to pray for your food, because look, over here it says, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, what ye shall drink, no for your body, what ye shall put on. For God knoweth that ye have need of these things even before you ask, it says in another spot. Wherever it was. Somewhere. Listen to the passage. You'll find it. I just can't remember where it was. Okay, so anyway, I think you get the point. He's saying our daily bread. This is food. Manna from heaven. Jesus is the bread of life. Our daily bread. Give us a daily dose of Jesus in our lives. Forgiving our debts as we forgive our debtors, that's part of it. Lead us not into temptation. It says, God tempteth no man with evil. So, of course, God wouldn't do that. It's like pretty much a deterrent from deliver us from evil, allowing us not to come in contact with it. But God will lead ourselves into that, you know. Okay, so anyway, let's go on here. There's a couple other thoughts. Now I'm forgetting what they were. I used to wonder what it meant when it said, neither do they spin. Consider the lilies of the field. Now, I like to think, you know, do you think Jesus lorded over these people when he spoke to them on the mountain? Like he stood up there, like you see a lot of times, him standing above everyone and everyone else? Maybe parts of it. Maybe he stood up. But I think he was laying on the ground. Especially when he's saying, consider the lilies of the field. He's sort of laying there pointing out things. People were just crowding around to get as close to him as could. But he says, neither do they spin. That means like spinning their own clothes, you know. I used to think it meant like the lilies were spinning around in circles, but this creates quite a mind picture. But see, and then he's pointing out the grass, you know, which is on the ground, of course. It seems like once again there was something else. Oh well. Thanks for watching this one anyway.